Hello, hello. Let's see if everything's going. We are going to check out some Claude Code. So, hello everyone. Some people. Claude Code, source code, got shared this morning somewhere on the web, and I was interested to just explore it. I was thinking, let me just do it live, since why not? And we can all just enjoy and see it and ask me questions or things. So I have the source code. Show my screen here. I'm just curious. I want to see if I can find anything interesting. I'm just going to explore it, see what we can find, maybe extract some documents or some markdown files or some like diagrams or things, which will be cool. On the left, I have cursor agent running. On the right, Gemini. Why? Because why not? Also, I don't want to burn through my Claude Code limits because I use that mostly, or Codex. So I'm using Composer too fast, which is really, it's actually a very good model. It's very fast, and Gemini is also very fast. So because live stream fast, it would be nice. So I'll do those. And also I like to use other models as well, since all models are cool. Okay, let's see. Can you take a look at this project and give me a super high overview of the folder structure and the kind of design of the folders and the files, how it's working? My goal with this session is to figure out how things work and maybe learn a few things. I'll just do the same. Both. Yeah, it's YOLO now on both. And I'm on Pro on the right. See how quick this is, it's insane. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's a TypeScript bun implementation of Claude Code CLI. Okay. Entry, this doesn't recreate the formatting. Okay, can we start a markdown file with maybe called Composer 2 findings or something like that in a docs directory, and basically can you add this stuff to there so we can read it a little bit nicer. Oh, sorry, I'm not screen. Add to stage. There we go. Sorry. Thanks, Rob. Rookie mistake. Yes, sorry, Joe. I'm a professional live streamer, you know, very good at this. So on the left, you can see I run agent for the composer agent with, oh, I mean, cursor agent with composer too fast, which is a very cool model. And on the right, I do Gemini and 3.1 Pro. It's a bit slower, but it's still fast. Just why not? Okay, so we have this. Open. Boom. So for other people, on my other screen here, I'm actually right now having a loop, make a Ruby clone of Claude Code. So we might have like a Claude Code native Ruby board by the end of the day or something after testing it a little bit. Using Ruby LLM as the adapter, so we could then hook it up to any of the providers, which is really cool. But really, what I want to do is explore what the hell they're doing here, how it works a little bit, and maybe we can learn something from this. Like things that I'm interested in here are memory, like how do they do memory? How do they abstract things like skills versus slash commands? Like maybe what kind of prompts there are? Can we learn anything from the prompts? So yeah, and maybe like some things like how do they abstract it. I know actually this, like we'll see, but like I know they use the Claude SDK. At least they tell us that they use the SDK under the hood. So yeah, I'm curious. So let's see if we find anything. Okay, so entry points, main components, hooks, ink. Okay, so this is the TUI. There we go. So we have the TUI. Mm, du, 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 du. The CLI, which is like just yeah, okay, so yeah, MCP. Okay, so that's the CLI part. The commands are okay, that's slash commands and actions. It's interesting because they have skills now, so let's see how they do that. Conversation query pipeline. Like this is interesting. This is like I have no idea how this works. So definitely we should look into the conversation pipeline. Tools, agent tools. Um, this is cool. I want to look at all the tools they have. Um, the bridge, I don't care too much about. Remote services, skills. Oh, yeah, okay. So the skills are cool. What are the bundled skills? How do they bundle that? Memory, memory is very interesting. Let's see. So basically, let's see if anything is interesting. Okay, let's just dive into some things. So questions I have here are, what is the underlying model like used here? I mean, does it use a SDK? How does it call the LM model? What is the package or what's the way it's done? Because I'm pretty sure we'll get people that like I know there are already ports to Python and Rust and other things, but like the cool part is you have this harness and you can just hook it up to other places now. Okay, so it uses the Anthropic AI. Okay, so it uses the AI SDK, which I thought, which is cool. So they actually use it. Probably that's extracted from here. Um, Beta messages API. Ooh, okay. um, uh, the beta. Okay, so Claude messages API beta. Okay, let's see what let's dig in here. What is beta? Okay, so okay, what is the beta API? What is new in the beta? What is different than the normal one? Okay, so Gemini got some back too, but let's just jam with Composer too, because it's so fast. Uh, it doesn't really know probably what the beta is versus. Okay, so it will get extra requests. Yeah, what are the flags that the beta will enable here? Last time I did this, I found a whole hidden feature which is kind of funny. So let's see if we find anything very quickly now here. Okay, so okay, web search advanced tool, prompt fast mode, redacted thinking, token efficiency, AFK modes. What is that? Oh, AFK mode. Advisor tool. 1, 3. Okay, so there's some, let's see, so 20 OAuth. Let's see, these are a little bit newer. Let's see what these might be. Can you take a look at these three? What are they? Can you figure out what these features are in the source code? Internal, yeah, I don't. Oh, internal CLI only when user. Internal CLI, which means CLI internal. So that's whenever you work at Anthropic, because if the user type is an ant, which is basically the name they use for their employees. Interesting. So they have a version that they use internally. Okay, so session, latch flag, transcript classifier build, agentic plus request API for splits. No idea what that means. Okay, so enable advisor server side tool. Tengu Sage Compass. So this is advisor as a server side tool. It's interesting. Feels like that's interesting. Okay. Can we dive in a little bit more? Can you go a little bit deeper on those flags? Maybe we should actually go to a better model here because it feels like it's good for high level exploratory. Okay, there we go. Is a okay, auto mode is a permission mode. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I think this is the new feature that they have where it's not YOLO, but it decides automatically if it's safe or not. Since they did release that already. Yeah, I think that's the auto mode. Okay, so two, the internal employees only. Okay, so for non-high, it's merged with other model. Okay, if got haiku. Okay, so they have something when you're not in haiku, they have like a better model, I assume. Almost nothing. That's fine. Okay, okay. Advisory to growth book. Growth book. Key. What is growth book? Tonight. Tengu Sage Compass. Okay, so what is this request? Side questions. Oh, okay, okay. So probably. Okay, so if advisor is enabled, the header is always added for every query path that goes through the query, including non-agentic or compact side question memory. The way historical sort blocks are still valid on the wire. The tool. Okay, let's see. Advisor and the client depends advisor on the system prompt. Hidden advisor setting up persist. Okay. This is the most new thing. There's a tool. Okay, let's dig more. What does the advisor tool do, or what do you think it does? Looking at, let's see. Hey Ben, yes, I like my comic codes in the terminal. It's something I enjoy. So far, I just started, so it's not really anything crazy. I'm now going through feature flags I found, which I think is interesting because maybe we find something that will come out soon. So this is the newest, the advisor tool 2631. I think this is like a more uh maybe yeah. I don't know. I don't think this is live, but okay, so basically yeah, it's a second model in the loop triggered by an advisor tool call as a quality planning risk guidance for the primary model. It's interesting. Like this is a pattern actually I use as well. So like I guess I don't think it's there yet, or maybe you can trigger. I don't know, but it's a pattern I use as well, where I have a second model look at the same work or just review. So like have one do the work, the other one look at what it's doing, or like it's not ambient, but it's like a little bit towards that. Um, it might be also just a better model. So like maybe like the work model doing the work is cheaper than the stronger model. So the advisory tool is calling a stronger reviewer model on the full transcript and feed the answer back into the main agent's context. Build in escalation reflection. So yeah, this is a pattern that works very well, especially like maybe slash simplify is like I don't know if that works like that, but that's like something you can do in Claude Code where it just tries to simplify things a little bit. I think it's interesting. Let's see. Is this then a sub agent? Is this a slash command? Where is this being used? Okay, well, we're just randomly doing shit here. Why don't we work here? Okay, I want you to create extensive documentation of this entire code base. I want to know about the skills, about the slash commands. I want you to go into any nook and cranny and find anything interesting here and create a markdown file for us to read and review. And you can put it in docs folder. And yeah, use subagents for every folder or however you want to do it. Make it good. And yeah, like for example, you have GPT 5.4 review plans of Opus and etc. Like it's an interesting pattern. So maybe this is like a pattern built in something like that. Okay, so Gemini on the right is doing this now. Okay, so we asked like, is this a so it's not a sub agent or like an agent tool, server tool use. Okay, so like that is an interesting thing? Like, why? What is a server tool use versus like a local tool use? So, what is the difference between a server tool use and a local tool use? Are there two differences or not? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there are tool use normal like client and server apparently. And I assume it just runs the tool on the server instead of your computer. Um, it's interesting. I didn't know. Like, yeah, I'm sure they had it, but okay. So, the model uses tool, yeah, your app, tool result. Okay. Clearly, it runs the LLM on the server, but why on the server? Well, if you have proprietary tool stuff, it will never be leaked like this, at least. So the model decides it can run like heavy GPU stuff, maybe, or I don't know. So why hosted site? So web search, sure, like yeah, it can do web search, advisory review. Okay, so web search is basically server tool use, but okay, that's interesting. Why do they have server tool use and local tool use? Because you could just call a web search from a local tool use, or like it's an interesting decision why to use a server versus not. Can we dig into that, see why that might be, speculate a little bit? Also, if anyone is in the chat here wanting to join me on the stream to please shoot me a message on X and I'll share the login. Happy to have you join, Jen. Okay. Um, yeah, you're next to the model. Trust. Yeah, I guess you have. It's a little bit more sandboxed than your local machine, so maybe that's actually a good one. Like, yeah. Um, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's super clear why that is, but there are tools. Okay. Can you list all the tools that you can find here? Let's see what all the tools are. Let's just go to the next thing. Let's look at tools. Um, I want to look at memory as well. I think that's cool. Okay, Gemini is doing his thing. Whenever this is done, we can read this as well and see if we have any follow-up question. Yeah, and I mean the UI doesn't look great of the agent in the cursor CLI agent. Grab, grab, grab. But it's fast. Sorry, I thought my screen was somewhere else. Here we go. This is the classic. I'm waiting for an LM, so I click on things. There we go. These are the. Oh, we are here. Come on, this rendering is so bad. So we have okay, shell and search. Okay, you add this to the markdown file. This is unreadable. There we go. Okay, let's see if we find anything interesting. So, like tools are interesting because, like there's this discussion on like adding more tools versus going an abstraction higher with tools, so that you just give like a bash tool, for example, because a bash tool can probably do most things, or a PowerShell tool. So, but there is a grep tool which you could do with bash. So like it's an interesting yeah, it's interesting. So like let's see what they add. So they read, edit, write, notebook edits. Not sure what that is, but what is notebook? Um, what is notebook edit? Web fetch, web search. Okay, there we go. Agent tool. Okay, so this was the task before, and task was actually a sub-agent. So okay, so now it's called agent, which is nice. Task output, task stop, send message, send. Okay, so this is the basically the agent orchestration layer. Brief tool, like a name brief. Okay, yeah. So this is how the agent swarms work, probably. Enter plan mode, exit plan mode. Okay. Ask user question. I love that one. Let's start this one. To do right. For some reason, I thought they removed that. Oh, but that's again to do right and task create. So task is the yeah, okay. So task is the one that the swarms use if you have that enabled. Probably this is the one before. Cron create, delete, cron list. And sleep. Okay, here is to-dos and scheduling. This is kind of interesting. Like I know they have some scheduling and stuff, but I don't use it as much. But sleep when feature proactive. What is that proactive? That sounds great. I want. What does this feature do? Can you drill and discover what proactive means? The dance on the right of the CLI. the good old disco. Okay, so proactive or features. Kairos. Interesting. Skills. Okay, so skill and tool discovery. Skill tool just loads the skill. Tool search. Is tool search enabled optimistic? Yeah, probably this is where you want to like I think this is one of those discovery things where you disable your skills and like it searches for one dynamically to reduce context. So it's not always included. MCP enter work tree exit. Okay, so there are work tree helpers as well. Teams created for swarms. Tungsten tool. Whoa. Tmux terminal exec string module and only. Ah, okay, so this is this is where the internal people have their thing. Tungsten tool is I have no idea what it is. But it's what they have. REPL tool. Config LSP we have. Remote trigger. Okay. And more feature flagged. So we have snip tool. Suggest background PR tool. Well, we don't know what this is because it's internal, but web browser to overflow test tool, CTX, terminal capture tool. I think this is kind of a way to test the terminal because currently, I mean, you can do it with Tmux or some other things, but probably they have their own way to verify Claude Code that Claude Code works. So probably it's something here where it's terminal tool. Okay. Testing permission, structured output. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so from all these tools, like it's it's interesting because they're very high level. So like it's an agent. But there are some that are specialized like grep, but that's probably because they can optimize that and just make it a little bit faster. Okay, so proactive enables an autonomous work loop. Whoa, nice. Okay, so probably this is some kind of rel loop that's you can enable. So periodic tick, check-in, sleep when there's nothing to do, pause, resume, idle scheduling, print batch, special comparison. Okay, so how do I enable this? Is this already available for me? Yeah, so proactive or like ambient or something like that, I call it as well. Shall we try? So what do I run to start Claude in proactive mode? And what does it do then? Proactive or Kairos? Kairos. That's maybe like some kind of internal. Let's see here. It works. No, that does not work. But it's interesting. Like there will come something that just runs and keeps running sooner than later. For anyone joining, I'm looking at exploring the source code of Claude Code. I'm in a directory here where I'm trying to clone it to um, Ruby, but this is the source code of Claude Code, and I'm just exploring tools that I can see, and there is this like interesting one called the so this is also Kairos. Okay, let's proactive. So there's a sleep. Um, command which is interesting. So and it says, hey, proactive or Kairos. So um, it's related to scheduling. Okay, let's look for Kairos. This one. So send user file tool push notification tool subscribe PR tool. Okay. Server screens button coordinator system. Smaller feature flag areas local server full screen layouts. Plugins coordinator mode Kairos assistant. Okay, what is Kairos? Like it's probably like okay, I wanna see okay, let's actually switch model. Okay, just do it again. We'll switch a model. Let's go actually let's do projects. I'm looking at the source code of this project here, and I want you to dig deep and find everything you can about Kairos. Okay, whatever, Kairos. This. Okay. What is Kairos? Sounds some Greek something. Let's see. Okay, so it's ancient Greek. I was good. It represents the right, critical, or opportune moment. Wow. Okay, so I assume it's first step at something like ambient. Like what I'm envisioning will come for a while already is this agent that always runs and starts working when it needs to, or does something when it needs to, and only if it needs to. And it sounds kind of like this name is like waiting for the right moment. So I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. So some kind of ambient system, or it's always running and doing the right thing at the right moment, which is, I mean, it will come. It's just nice that something is already there. Yeah, I have to say, Codex looks so much better than the cursor CLI. I mean, it's not great. I still like Claude's best, but oh, we have the code base stuff as well. Can you also add a special section that breaks down what Kairos is in much detail? Like create the widest, most broad picture you can do. Okay, these two are going. Also, if you want to look into a certain direction, let me know. Also, if you want to join me on the stream, uh, let me know as well. I want to do memory still. See how they do memory, and yeah, let's do Kairos because this is cool. Like we're just seeing what the future is going to be. I like that. Um, Sketching the picture, but it's running now. Let's actually do another. Let's do Claude Code. Um, let's can you look in the source code of this project and can you I mean, come on, 80% of you. I hate this. That's why I'm not using it. I don't know what's happening, but I'm hitting my limits this week every time already, like overpaying. And okay, come back. We'll do colors again. Stupid. Um, we're looking at a project here that is an agent harness. Can you research in high detail how specifically the entire memory system works from start to finish? I want to know all ins and outs. And can you create a markdown document in the docs folder with the research when you're done? Okay. Ooh, it's almost done. And then we can also read the documents. So we have a good amount to review. Maybe we can also look at prompts, but I mean, you can just browse through the prompts yourself as well. I think that's the most open because you could proxy already through and see the prompts, but I think Kairos is the next thing that we should look at. Okay, so let's see. There we go. Kairos is the code base internal code name for assistant mode. Ooh, assistant mode. Okay. Not a single tool. The repo calls it directly, marks it as and only. Okay, so they're testing it internally. And conditionally imports a private assistant module behind things. It activates from settings plus runtime gating. Assistant true is a real setting. Okay, so it's assistant. It only turns on when the Tengu Kairos gate passes and the workspace has been trusted. Assistant force enabled for. Okay, what is it? It's a long-lived remote bridge worker. Okay, okay. So it's something. So you can. That's something that works in the cloud probably, and that when you close your laptop, it keeps going. Their worker type Claude Code assistants. So Claude AI can show them in a dedicated picker. Okay, so it's something you can do on the cloud. There's a viewer client for it. Attaches to a local REPL, to a remote assistant session. Okay. Claude Assistant, and then you log in to the session. Okay. So user communication is forced through brief, send user message, Gyro is active. Okay, so it uses the system. Yeah, so it uses the agent swarm system. We have Aiden. We have a new guest.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
I'm looking at Kairos, which is a and only feature flag inside here. And I'm just trying to decipher what it is.
Hmm.
And that's what I was doing now. It looks like it's something like an ambient, always on assistant like thing that will take action at the right moment magically, and runs in the cloud and has a way
Interesting.
to bind to your local machine. And it's not available, but it's in the source code. And so that's where I'm looking now. I did explore some other things, and I asked Gemini to create like a report on everything it could find. And here
What have
also
you
the
learned so far? Because
yeah, what
I've
I
only seen the
learned,
headline.
the headline. I mean, the headline is I think this the Kairos thing is probably the headline, but it's not there yet. But it's like where it's going. But the headline is they're experimenting a lot. There are
Hmm.
lots of feature flags and things in here. Um, and it's going to be more linked to the cloud. So there's like a tool use on the cloud versus on your computer. So they're
Hmm.
going to make Claude Code run more on the cloud, I
Hmm.
think. And
Hmm.
and it's logical. Like that's what I do. That's what people do with Tmuxing into like a computer or something like that, where you can close your laptop or you can go from your laptop to your phone
Hmm.
and really bring things over. And I think Cursor has the same, where you can push things. Codex has the same, so Claude is going to do that as well. But there
Hmm.
is the like uh, the swarm or like the agent coordination system
Hmm.
they're building out now, and like you can see,
Which
they're
they've
like
had for a bit, right? So how is it different
they
from the
have
one
that
that you've tried?
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that already, but I've never really used that. Like,
Hmm.
it's not like the swarm promise doesn't really
Hmm.
work for me in this setting,
Hmm.
because the setting is I have a project and swarms work in that project. It's going to get better
Hmm.
when you have a coordinator working on multiple projects, because then suddenly, like, that's the bottleneck. Like, the bottleneck
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not like the project. The bottleneck is like I do 5
Yeah.
projects.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, and I think this is moving more towards that, where it might be even that they're doing yeah, relay, or this, like the dispatch might be a way, an entryway of like coordinating this, where you can say to dispatch, hey, can you like scan all the pull requests on compound engineering, and then it will spin up 5 sessions. And you can see here they're like worker types, and the worker type can be Claude Code Assistant.
Hmm.
So uh, yeah, I maybe that is already, maybe that already exists. But there is some level, like the Kairos active is clearly gated. So there's like a new, like they're building on top of everything they have now, which makes sense, bringing it even more together. And like what it says here, it changes orchestration behavior into a closed loop. So it's like probably self-iterating, self-scanning. You link two ways to like look, and I found one other thing as well where there's like a like more like a tool to scan your terminal. So probably internally they have a way to capture the terminal and Claude to then iterate on itself again.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's helpful.
so fork slash commands become fire and forget background sub agents. Uh, Agent tool forces async. So you can run things in the cloud, which is also a pattern I've been seeing here.
Hmm.
That's like there's like a local version and a cloud version, which is also interesting.
Hmm.
And auto trigger, so there's like a scheduling, like cron is there. There's a loop system. Um, so it's scheduled work, loop system, scheduled prompts, like all of those things. So here,
It's interesting.
improvement.
It says assistant sessions are treated as effectively perpetual. So that's kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting. Yeah, and they have names as catch up, morning check in, and dream.
Oh,
So
Dream. That's so good. It's so good.
yeah,
That's been one of my bits for a little while. Is like we're not gonna get AGI until it can dream because
yeah.
like you
Well,
have
here
to
it is.
yeah, you have to have a way to distill the stuff that you like learned during the day into your like
Yeah,
long-term memory. Makes total
yeah.
sense.
So dream like here is probably something that runs overnight or like brings learning. And I know like Ryan Carson, for example, he has this thing where he run a Ralph loop at night to like get all of the stuff that happened processed and maybe like I think it's stuff like that. It's like Ralph loops plus like scheduled things because they work and
Yeah.
I know they have these things already but like I think this is just a next thing. So this is one other thing. Memory works different in Kairos. Yeah, assistant sessions are treated effectively perpetual.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What does it trigger in your head? Because you said, "Oh, that's interesting." Like, what does that? Why is that interesting for you?
I'm imagining it working sort of like a claw, like an open
Yeah,
claw,
yeah,
and it's always on. It it's not like a single chat that like is scoped to a specific thing. It's just like you have your Claude live on your server and it does things for you. Seems like the model.
yeah. And it's kind of saying that like there's a memory log similar to OpenClaw, and nightly Dream distills those logs back into memory, which is kind of a compound, like automated compounding or something like that.
Yeah, I hope they have like a cool UI for that. Like I wanted to do like crazy mid-journey images of its dreams for you every
Yeah,
morning, you know?
yeah. Auto Dream.
Yeah.
Shall we drill into what Dream
Please.
does a little
I'm
bit?
super curious how Dream
Okay,
works.
okay, okay. This sounds great.
And I
Can
haven't
we
eaten lunch,
drill
so I'm
deep
going on
into
mute and
Dream?
I'm gonna
Yeah, bon appetit. I mean, I was planning to ship a lot of code today, but this is just too much fun.
Yeah, whenever you need to leave, like feel free.
Yeah, no. I think I'll go a little bit more because I want to read the other things here as well. Yeah, so Dream is interesting. So okay, so it changes the UI a little bit. Active assistant mode hides the status bar, switches prompt spinner rendering into a brief mode, and the viewer keeps loading older assistant history on scroll up. Okay, so this feels they're going to like a single dispatch style inbox,
That makes
um,
sense.
which makes completely sense. That's how I work already, but I use Tmux to coordinate between them. But yeah, so there are 7 JSON satellite flags around Cairo brief. So there's like a brief, which makes sense. Like if you have 30 agents do shit, you want a brief. What's happening? Channels is probably how they talk to each other. Push notification is probably how your phone or whatever gets something. Webhooks is a great place to kickstart an agent because if you have a bug come in, and Dream, which we will dive into. Okay, so Dream, 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 Dream. It's still going. But the missing Dream. Okay, let's open. We'll go into this. But yeah, this is cool. Like the only yeah, it makes sense because this is how OpenClaw kind of works with spawning sub agents.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new, but it's just nice that they're doing it as well. Um, okay, so let's go into the /dream commands. For anyone joining us, we're looking at the source code of Claude Code. Someone found it somewhere, and we found an area that looks interesting called Kairos, which is see, what does it mean? It means it represents the right, critical, or opportune moment, and it's ancient Greek philosophy. So it comes from chronos, sequential time. So it's like doing the right thing at the right time. Maybe it makes sense. Okay, so let's see what is here. Dream. So we have Dream. There are really two Dream systems. Auto Dream, which is the background consolidator that exists in this. And there's a manual /Dream skill, but it's not there. Like it's not bundled. So, but it's probably injected. The missing skill. Yeah. Okay. So there's Auto Dream. I think Auto Dream is probably the first true, or maybe memory, but this is like the first real compounding style thing in Claude Code. And there are ways, like there are already things that do this, but it's cool.
I
So
wonder how it works to like make sure that you're not like polluting your
yeah,
all of your memories with stuff that's not relevant, you know?
yeah, I'm very curious because in the end it's like, does it work or does it not work? Like, yeah, sure, like it's easy to run something every day, but also if you run something crappy every day, it will just get more crappy. That's always the issue, and you see with OpenClaw as well. Like that is actually the hardest part, the memory part. But I feel if they use this already internally for a little bit, that like it should work. They're dog fooding this, so they're not going to release this if it doesn't work well, because they know this concept for a while, and I'm pretty sure they're like figuring out what their shape is. And it's interesting that they go for automatic. Like they do have automatic memory saving now, so maybe this is like the next step from them, like automatically storing something to memory.
Yeah.
And so, but also it's taking the interesting part is just looking at everything. Um, it appends daily logs instead of editing
Hmm.
topic files stored
That's
directly. So
interesting.
like, it's what I like about it. Like this is also what I do. So I do this. Why I like this is like it's very easy to not screw up because it's just like something happened in a day and you write it to a summary or a log. And like that's just data. And if models get better, suddenly your entire year of data is worth more. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to rerun anything. So keeping things simple is nice, because if you now suddenly have all kinds of follow-ups and to-dos from here, like it might be crap. So just doing one little step is good. So like and like um so then later it distills those logs back into topic files, okay, plus memory MD. So topic files, I like that too. Like I do
That's
that with
good.
compound engineering as well, because you
Yeah.
can really easily yeah, you yeah, and yeah. So I think that works from my experience as well, where you just have data around certain topics. It's interesting because this doesn't really feel like engineering. I'm curious if they're going to roll this out into like Cowork and Claude as well, because this is basically just the missing piece to become like an open claw.
I bet
Uh,
they will.
yeah.
I really bet they will.
Why do you think they call it Dream? Why don't they call why? Because
Well,
they're anthropic,
yeah, I
or
mean,
that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
that's what dreaming is like
Mm-hmm.
consolidating your experiences into your memory. So I think like and then they're just anthropic, so they like doing stuff like that. And I'm in for it. I love it.
Me too. Yeah, it's great. Auto
Yeah.
dreaming.
Yeah.
That's auto dream is probably the new hat we need to print, or slash dream. This is
Yeah.
the one for next month. Um, so catch up, morning check in. I like this too. Like this is literally what I do. Like morning check in. I have a command that does exactly this now in Claude, where I just say, "Yo, what did I do? What do I need to do today?" Like make a
Mm,
plan. Like
yeah.
it's very good for priming.
Hmm.
And it is it feels just like they get it. They're a little bit behind yet, but they're doing it internally, and they understand that engineering now is not about engineering, but engineering now is about product or life work. Like it's like the bottleneck now is like, what do I need to build, or
Hmm.
what happened, instead of the code. And catch up, morning check in, dream, it all helps with the problems you have when you're like all the way into agentic engineering.
Yeah. Actually, this actually I have some learnings from proof. I don't want to distract you. So if you want to keep going with this, I have some
No, no,
learnings from.
no. Yeah, let's go. I think we did enough here, and then like I have other docs that we can look through. But like, please, like I'm curious what you think, because it's vibes. Like, what do you think? What triggers the what does this all trigger with your experience building and doing things?
Well, one of the things I'm like playing around with right now is, so we launched this app Proof. And if you haven't tried it, you definitely should. Proofeditor.ai. And it's an app I vibe coded, and it helps you. It does live collaborative markdown documents. Wait, I've never seen that before. Can you refresh the page?
Yeah,
What the fuck? Like that.
yeah.
I've
I don't know.
literally not once seen it. Can you do a hard refresh?
Yeah, that's a hard refresh. Here, we can debug it maybe if there's
That's
some
the first
network.
time I've ever seen that bug, and you sent it to me, and a couple other people
I
have
know.
too. Huh.
Oh, maybe it's because you use some kind of weird external
Yeah, it
tracker blocks.
uses. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay,
Yeah,
got
okay.
it.
So you have a tracker.
I don't. It's not a tracker. It's a. It's some service that that renders and hosts that.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's also they resell that as a tracker.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
why
what's it?
that's why they're tests. Yeah, so they
Unbelievable
resell that data to data brokers.
bullshit.
Yes. You can
Uh,
self-host it as well. Is
it's
it
called
Lottie?
it's called Lottie. Yeah.
Yeah, Lottie. Yeah, they do that. But you can self-host Lottie as well.
Okay, I need to do that. I'll make a note to do that.
Mhm.
Anyway, so um So I made proof, and I realized that, well, so we launched it. It was working internally. We launched it. A lot of people started using it, and then started going down. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
vibe coded the whole thing. So it's been like kind of an interesting saga to um, figure out how to fix it. And it
It works
created this
great
whole.
now.
It does work. It does work really well, and it created this whole thing in my head of like, okay, how do you do engineering now in this new world where you can vibe code anything? And I have this like dichotomy between pirates and architects. I think
Mm-hmm.
of myself as a pirate. I'm just gonna like go do a bunch of stuff, and then an architect is someone who's like really wants to make it a machine that's understandable, that like it's well built. And I think you sort of, one person can trade off. Like I think here and you're like kind of a split between a pirate and an architect. I just like, I don't really necessarily have the patience to be as much of an architect. And I'm just doing a bunch of other stuff. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm more just like I want to do a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah. I have an
So
idea. Let's
yeah,
go.
exactly. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Good.
So but I've had the opportunity to have a couple of architects go look at the code, and that's how it's gotten better.
Yeah.
And to then be like, okay, fresh lens. What does a code base look like when someone is just trying to like just try to vibe code an app, and you're a professional developer who's seen these apps before? And one thing that's really interesting that they found is um the code base, they were all like, this is actually, a lot of this code is actually pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but it 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 doesn't hang together conceptually,
Yeah.
and it's like a bunch of little papered over like hot fixes in a
Yeah,
thousand
but
different
it's
places.
because you use Codex.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so tell me more about that, because like, yes, I use Codex, and the reason I used
Yeah.
Codex is because I started to I started to reach a point with vibe coding where Opus was just like tripping over itself.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that also exists. Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Codex seemed to
Mhm.
not run into that, but
Yeah.
it did start to do that. Like, yeah, like the overall concept of the code base didn't make any sense, but like each
It
local
did fix
change,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
like it,
it,
like it's yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And but it got to a point where there were so many of those like little fixes that each
Yeah.
fix created like more problems, instead
Yeah.
of being like, oh, okay, first principles, here's how you structure an app like this, like
Yeah.
let's throw out everything and do that.
Yeah.
So how does that jive with your experience, and how would you have like how do you avoid that?
Yeah, it's a good one. Um, well, have an architect in there as well. I think
Yeah,
I
I think
think
that's a good
that's the
one.
point. Like the
Yeah, that is
point
the point.
is you need an architect as well. And
Yeah.
like what you said, like I think I just go back and forth between the two, because you need both. And I
Yeah.
think um like yeah, you can vibe code an app, and I think yeah, so Codex is really good at solving these little things, but also like it's not very good at taking a step back and say, oh, actually, maybe this is not the abstraction we need to take. Maybe we should do it differently. I'm not saying Claude is very good at it, but it's better at
Do
it.
you think
And
Claude's better?
if you are an architect with Claude Code, it's easier to explore,
Mm,
like rewriting or things like that.
that's
What
really
I
interesting.
what I would one other thing, if you are in the Codex camp, I think like the harness engineering philosophy from OpenAI, I think that's interesting because you set up like the harness and the design, like you architect basically the design inside your repository. So
Hmm.
if you have that set up well, like Codex can do lots of things as well. And I think you were kind of exploring what the app even was, because I
I
don't
was.
know, but probably there is still the Mac app is probably still the
It's still
repo.
in there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still in there.
So
Yeah.
so there's like a Mac app, and like and I remember I went in once and wanted to add a feature and did my compound engineering plan and then made a whole plan for the Mac app. I was like, what, why, what Mac app? Say, well, yeah, it's in the code and backwards compatible and all. Like what I would do is just delete shit
Yeah.
as well. Like at the rate you add new features, you also need to delete new features. I think
Yeah.
that's very important. So I think with going back to this thing of Anthropic, I think this is great because we could add a cron or a thing that just finds code that is not used anymore and deletes it because it's not really fun to do
Yeah.
either. Um, what I would have done, I told you also
I think
for
you
proof.
did.
I
Yeah.
said
I'm
just
sure you did.
rewrite it,
I
like
know.
just delete it, start over. Now you
Yeah.
know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like that's just easier sometimes, but also like it's very interesting to go through this because you experience so many things that like lots of people have with like legacy apps. Like you just have a legacy app that's 2 weeks old or 3 weeks old, which is kind of interesting. But it's like the same pains as you feel with legacy apps. It's like you have all these old things that are still around. So like yeah, and so yeah, like and I think Codex is good at solving these little things. Um, but also like sometimes yeah, one other thing I like to do is just in compound engineering do the brainstorm or
Hmm.
and then brainstorm about like hey how can we clean this up or like is there anything we can simplify or is there anything we don't use anymore or like from a product perspective do we need features just cleaning things up refactoring a little bit and go in that mode once in a while. But someone else could do that. Like that's fine. But yeah, you also used YJS, which is notoriously very hard. So you also like laid yeah, it's just
I
very
feel like
hard.
I was
Yeah.
like I feel like I was like a teenager and you were like my dad being like, you shouldn't use YJS. Like it's live cloud was like really hard. And I was like, no, dad, like I can figure it out.
I mean, it would have been easier if you don't have it, and then you can add it back in like a way
Yeah, but
whenever.
now
But
it's
yeah,
working. So we're
it's
good.
working now. Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
um
But the cool like the thing is, I don't think YJS is actually the thing that people love most about Proof. Um, Yet you spend the most time on it. So like
you're
you
right.
can,
You are right.
yeah.
Totally. You're totally right.
But yeah, it's not about yeah. Uh, but yeah, this is cool because this, like, I know you've used some scheduled cron things in Codex as well, right?
I
Like,
use it a lot in Codex.
yeah. So you see this working for you as well, right?
Definitely. I think it's super helpful and they're all going in this direction. Cursor's going in this direction too.
Yeah.
The problem with Codex right now is that the cron, the automation, it runs in this like very sandboxed VM, which is like a classic OpenAI problem where
Yeah. You cannot do anything.
it can't actually do anything. And
Yeah.
so it's not very useful. Um, but but yeah, it's super helpful. I actually have my claw, my plus one R2C2 doing doing a lot of the stuff. Like every morning it goes through all of our GitHub issues and posts a proof doc with all the new issues and stuff. Hashen asks, is that Gemini CLI we're seeing?
Yes.
Cool.
uh,
Are you a Gemini
so
guy now?
I use all of them. So
What do you use
I
Gemini
use
for? Because I don't really use, I've never actually used the CLI.
yeah, I signed up for the pro plan,
Hmm.
even. So yeah, like on the left now it's Codex.
Hmm.
There was Cursor first because Cursor Composer was fast. On the right, I have
Hmm.
Gemini. Also,
Hmm.
Gemini is fast, so that's why I thought
Hmm.
Livestream is good.
Hmm.
I use it for design.
Yeah.
Gemini is very good at design, and the CLI is not too bad. It's very good at like do user browse like agent browsing, like iterating, like copying from Figma to design is great.
Yeah.
And like I'm just out of credits every day with Claude. I don't know what's happening. So it's just a necessity. I use other tools. I'm at 80%. It's like I worked 1 day this week,
That's crazy.
yesterday. I'm at 80%. Like how the and I paid $200 last week in extra usage, and I'm like I'm not going to. This is ridiculous. So,
Wow.
but I like it for design, and I just like to get a feel. like how the harnesses are a little bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is it. Let's see. I still use my local reader
Bad.
here because it's just faster. And the rendering is a little bit better and it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
better. Like this it just looks a little bit better. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should bring back the Mac app if I want to hate my life even more.
yeah. Uh, okay, so let's see if there's any cool findings. So agent capabilities, tool skills, agent skills. Okay, so it has bundle skills, plan mode, remote connectivity, bridge. Remote backend for work items. Okay. This is the UI part. Ink engine. Still interesting that they use that. Um, hmm. Nooks and crannies. Interesting finds. The buddy companion. What? They have a buddy. A
Huh.
mascot that lives in your CLI. Um,
Oh, oh, this is the claw. This is a claw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have this already?
Not no, I don't think so, but I think this is like them trying to make something that's not just like you're talking to Claude, you're talking to your buddy.
Oh, yeah, this is buddy. Okay, so we found the buddy.
Hmm.
So RPG elements, companions has species like ducks, rarities, and stats, strength, intelligence rolled during hatching.
Hmm.
Frame-based ASCII animation for idle blinking. Okay. The body,
I'm
shall
I'm
we?
I'm reading this. Kieran found the concept of a buddy in Claude Code's
Yeah, that's funny. Buddies are
source.
generated from your user ID using a seeded PRNG. Okay, and it's consistent across machines. Ooh, okay, let's go. Buddy. Okay, interesting. Can I enable buddies? How do buddies look? Can we find out anything more about them? I'm intrigued.
Oh my god. Yeah, I want to see my buddy.
Yeah, when do we get our buddy? A mascot that lives in the CLI. Great. Okay, so that's cool. Here, oh yeah, here, Kairos, the proactive assistant mode. Um, is one of the most advanced and autonomous features of Claude Code. It represents a shift from a reactive CLI to a proactive, always-on background assistant. Okay, so always-on background assistant. While standard is focused, Kairos is proactive. Yeah, so yeah, like this is what we want. I'm curious. Probably they run this internally already. So if anyone can share anything, that would be great. Ben asked, "Do you use Gemini CLI for design and then have Claude implemented?" No, I have Gemini implemented actually. Gemini is pretty good. Um, it's not like I think if you have a design implementing it, it's very good at that. So like, there's no need to switch over. But I have to say, I like was on the $20 per month plan, and within 5 minutes I hit my limits already when I did the design work. So it's the same. You need to upgrade, and it's 250. But they had the 50% off for 3 months deal, which is nice. Um, Briefing, yeah. So like, it's interesting. The primitives for Kairos are like the mode. So briefing and messaging. Let's see if before we jump into this, this is still the buddy system still go. We'll jump back to that. So the primary output channel is send user message. This allows it to send structured briefs to the user, including status updates, completion reports, and proactive alerts. Okay, that makes sense. I'm curious. It probably is in the Claude app then as well, right? On your
Sorry, I
phone.
was uh I was
You were, yeah.
asking my Claw to do something.
Okay, I
What
got it. Loop.
what's
No, like how the communication work, because that is now like how is it going to brief a
mm,
message? I
mm,
think it's going to
that
the
would be
Claude
so
app.
good. That would
Yeah,
be good. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Loop and cron. So there's a loop and a scheduled cron, channel, background execution, and the dreaming. I'm curious if dreaming, disk scale, dream mechanism. Yeah, well, that's all we found there as well. Okay, let's see. Um,
Ben Armstrong asks,
yeah,
I'm a
that's
devout compound engineering and agent native follower. I would love to hear how you guys think about tests and evals for agent native products. Unit tests don't really cut it. That's really good. I actually talked a lot to Mike Krieger about this. He heads Anthropic Labs in a podcast episode last week. It's hard. It's hard. Kieran,
mm-hmm.
do you have any thoughts here? I think that what he recommended was basically having like Claude use the agent and
Yeah,
try to break it as part of your testing strategy. So you like wire up a Claude that can use all the agent native features and comes up with different ways to like different prompts and chats and requests to try to help make sure the guardrails are good on it. But I think that's the most detail we got into with it.
yeah. I would definitely have, um, yeah, I would definitely have automated systems. Like for example, here, there's one in compound engineering with the agent native audit, and it's just good at spotting any mistakes or things it misses. Um, there is the test TUI. What is it? TUI test TUI, I think. Um, or maybe I have not added this here. I have a test command. TUI test. Maybe I did not release it. I have a test browser. Oh yeah, I've never released this. Okay, well, I have a test browser, and test. Okay, I will add it to you. I have a test browser which basically says, "Hey, go figure out what you need to test and make sure everything works." Uh, this works for the browser, but I have one for the TUI as well. I'll just add it later, so you can do test TUI, and then it goes try it out and like kick all the tires and things from a to like a CLI perspective. I would do that for the browser. So if you have agent native with a CLI, you can test the CLI, you can test the browser, and you can run the audit as well. I think just pushing it to go find anything that's missing. Uh, Maybe Codex is probably best for that, because it's very detailed and just keeps going. And yeah, that's how I do it. And like, yeah, automated testing. Uh, I would just push the agent to use the agent itself. I think that's the best way to do it, like Dan said as
Yep.
well.
Kieran, I'm gonna have to run.
Yeah, I'm going
Um,
to thank you for joining. I just go wait for whatever is in the buddy system, and then I will so go because we have two good finds, Kairos and buddies.
Kairos and buddies. Let's go.
See you.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, we'll wait for oh, needs tab, yes. There we go. Okay, we'll do the buddies and then the buddy companion, and then we'll wrap it up. Gemini is going. So npm nodes hts. Run the hatching. It's running the hatching simulation. Okay, hour and a half coming up. We'll wait for the buddy system. I think I found some other things. Code-based documentation, memory deep dive. That was it. It's one how memory works. So let's go through that. Then okay, this is how the harness manages memory. Mem directory, extract memory, session memory, auto dream, team memory sync. Okay, let's see. So the codebase does not have one single memory mechanism at 5 distribulators. Okay, that's cool. So first is the persistent auto memory, file-based cross-session memory stored under Claude memory, managed via memdir. This is the main remember things across conversation system. I think this is already live. T memory is shared subtree under auto memory directory, usually okay under the team. Same on disk markdown, auto memory sync to the server shared per GitHub repository. Okay. Session memory, per session markdown file summary used primarily for compaction. Okay, so not the same as persistent auto memory. Auto dream consolidation. This is the one, the Kairos stuff, and thinking memory maintenance. Yeah, so transcribes and agent optional persistent memory, just custom plugins of agents. Okay, that already exists as well, I think. So this is cool. The persistent memory explicitly constrained in memdir, user feedback, projects, and reference. Okay. This is interesting. These are the types. Makes sense because you need to understand the context to inject. The prompt explicitly forbids storing code-based derived facts such as architecture file or Git history. Okay, cool. That's interesting as well. Non-derivable context. Yeah, you don't want to store anything that's already in there, which makes sense. Okay, so mem directory paths. So we have the default work trees. yeah, I can share the wallpaper. It's the one. It's for my product Cora. It's nice. Co-work memory, team memory. Okay, so there are really, yeah, there. Okay, so agent memory. I mean, it makes sense. The daily logs here, so logs. Okay. This is very long. I'll share this on X. Just I'll post these files as gists or actually proof docs. I'll upload these as proof docs so everyone can check them out. See if the bodies are here. Oh yeah, there. Okay. Your personal buddy, the Chaos Snail. I ran a simulation using your unique user ID and the internal hatching algorithm. And based on your buddy is Snail. Oh, nice. Holy shit, this works. Oh, okay, okay, I have to continue. I want to vibe code a little thing where everyone can find their buddy. Okay, can we create a very small app where you uh, paste your ID from Claude? I don't know how even you get that. How do I get that? And then it generates your buddy with the stats. Can we make a little mini app? Just a single page app, very simple. Um, oh, a snail. That's me. uh, um, okay, let's see. It did something. Okay, so here, Hatch Companion. The Buddy Hatcher. Nice. Oh, actually, let's okay. We're going to do a fun tweet. Hatch your buddy. Um, is this actually Hatch Companion? Oh, there we go. Okay. We need to host this somewhere. Okay. What is the easiest place to host this page? Okay, everyone, soon you can hatch your own buddies. This is working. So basically, you just grab your user ID and then you can hatch it. So apparently, uh, common. Bummer. Ah, okay, so uh, search searches, but let's do Netlify or Vercel. Vercel. Also, can we make the design a little bit nicer so looks more like a Pokemon hatching, some animation, just make it super simple. We'll do Netlify drop. We'll do Netlify drop. Okay. This is very fun. Okay, this is fun. Oh, wow. Okay. Can we also make it so you can share it with a share to X link that also links to your body? And that would be cool. Well, gotta love vibe coding. Okay, nice. Hello everyone. If you are just joining, I was checking out the source code of Claude Code, and I found this little area. Let's see, deep dive here. The body companion, which you can hatch, and I will make. I'm making a little website for you to hatch your companion as well, so you can see if you have a rare one or not. Apparently, mine is not rare. Wow, this is very fancy. Okay, so Gemini is making this shareable, which is nice. Share to X. And out. I'm building a website now, so you can hatch your own hints. So actually, it's this. Why do I have a snail? Um, okay, it works. That's browser. The only thing is we need to know the domain. We need to know the domain. Netlify drop, right? Okay, we just fetch whatever the domain is hosted on. So when we drop it on Netlify, it will automatically work. Okay, let's see where this is. Where is the folder, or where is this created? Okay, I will share all of these docs I found to Proof Doc after this uploads, and then you can patch your buddy. Where is this? Thinking long about this. Buddy lecture, there we go. There we go. Uploads. Password protected site. Nah, we're going to upload it somewhere. Upload to Redstone. That will find it. And this is pretty slow. I'll just okay, there we go. Okay, boom. Sure, I need to log in first. Okay, let's do that. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Does it work now? Let's see. Yay, it's on. Okay, let's see if this works again. So you grab your ID and then there we go. And then you can share it. And then this link here will go. Yep. Okay. I hope the user ID is not anything secure or something. That will be bad, but hopefully not. User ID should be the user ID. Okay, well, there is a hatching thingy, and enjoy. I'm going to drop. Thank you all for checking it out, and I'll upload all of the documents, all the findings, all the extractions to proof, so you can check them out. And yeah, see you later. Bye.